from Oxford Plains Speedway, Sandia Speedway, iRacing takes the street stocks for a little around there in Valentine's. Going all about 5 minutes left of practice here. Watching Josh Patterson run some laps around here. He does have the fastest time in this practice, 15-minute practice. Allow everyone to get the race. Put a few laps down, test out, make a few last changes to their cars before they can qualify. Joined here by my friend Tyson Gifford. Do you have anything to share about Tyson about this track?
Scarborough. He's got that Be a Moose paint scheme on his car. He's from Mooresville, North Carolina, born and raised in the area, and he is currently in Albuquerque serving with the U.S. military. He is in the Air Force. Glad to see Colin can come out and have some fun with us on the iRacing service. This is Josh Patterson. Does a little 360, tries to get the skate 3 points, and lands on his lid. Josh is having some fun out here. Josh Patterson out of Pennsylvania has driven at Sandia once or twice. He drove in the Cruisers division last year. Heat race winner in the Cruisers, I would say. And mostly a 270 micro sprint driver as well as a pavement modify or a pavement midget, excuse me, driver. Um, he's looking to cut some laps around here, and as I mentioned earlier, he's probably going to be a threat to win as he's already practicing his burnout.
So we are in our 5-minute qualifying session right now. Each driver will have 2 laps, put on the fastest lap that they can. Currently leading qualifying with a 15.71 second lap time is the 7 Hunter Sandia, followed closely by Rob Mosley. Just a little bit under 4 tenths behind that time put down with a 15.75 second lap time, and then Paul Grenat 15. No cars are on track right now. We're just waiting to see if anyone else has to qualify. And it looks like every driver currently in the field has qualified, but you never know, it might be one driver. So pushing their car back out to Oxford Plains Speedway, they're going to have to get unloaded. Looks like we're now hopping in the 1 of 2. Tyson, do you remember how long the heat races are?
I don't recall off the top of my head. I will go through and look at our race information from our race director to check that. But Oxford Plains, a very common track. I mean, we see this in a lot of iRacing leagues, especially with the street stocks. We're going to have 8-lap heats just like last week, 2 of them to roll into the 75-lap feature.
And starting on the pole position for heat race number 1 is the 7 of Hunter Sandia. Starting in the second position, the 008 of Paul Granada. Number 3, third position, say, in the 1, exactly Gallegos. Starting 4th in the 003 is Nathan Medina. Starting 5th is Les Gibson. Starting 6th, the 9, Connor.
Green flags off. We're underway here for 8 laps in the heat race here at Oxford Plains. Already the number 7 gets a great jump. Paul Granado is going to slot in to second place right here. Now, this little start to the heat race is going to be very interesting. Laying down the rubber is going to be key for these drivers, so then the track is able to get more grippy. Granada really slipping and sliding here, as all these guys are really sliding heading into 1 and 2. As the 7 already with a formidable lead, the battle is going to come out to mostly between second and third right now. It's peeking to the inside as the 1 backs off, looks to the high side now, as it is the 7, 008, and 1, your top 3. Everybody advances to the main show here. All this does is to set the inside line for the race.
Got a battle here for 4th position. Gibson. 006 had a little run, I should say, and then backs off just a little bit. All these drivers are low file, though. Closest battle being that. Got a little 3-car breakaway here between the top 3 cars, and then looks like the 003 slid up the track, and that's easy to do here as he's still sliding around 3 and 4, still sliding. Going to that. I've raced a lot of street stocks on iRacing. My guess is just hook that right rear tire, and it's just a bad ride from there. Les Gibson on the 4th.
Especially at a track here, the outside is mostly just sand and grass. Especially if you go outside of the rubber groove, you're really going to find a lot of marbles. It's going to make the tires really dirty. White flag is out. Granada has closed in on the leader. He's going to give him the bumper. Look at that. Granada is trying to make a move for the lead. Don't think it's going to happen unless he does something silly. Not going to be it. 1, 2, 3. The 7, 008, and 1 as Granada decides to hook a hard right into the wall right at the line. That's going to damage his car for the future, even though iRacing regenerates it. But still, very interesting move there by Granada.
As it looks like now we have our last car. Start finish line now being the 9 of Conor Moran. The heat race number 1 results. Finishing first in heat race number 1 is Hunter Sandy, Paul Granada second, Zachary Gallegos third, Les Gibson fourth. Rounding out the top 5, Nathan Medina, and last but not least, Connor. Moving on now to our second heat race of 2. Starting in the pole position in the number 17, Rob Mosley. Starting second in number 85, Colin Scarborough. Starting third in the number 43, Caleb Scarborough. Brazen Collins, the director and race director. In number 5, Brazen Collins. John O'Brien in the 004 rounds out the top 5. And starting last but not least for heat race number 2 is Josh Patterson. I have to say, Josh has to have one of the best paint schemes for street stock. I ran a lot of street stock races on iRacing, and kind of jealous. As the green flag's out and Rob Mosley had a jump on everybody else, Brazen Collins wastes no time in 1 and 2, already the outside of the 43 of Caleb Scarborough.
It's Mosley, Scarborough. 1, 2, 3 is, oh, Josh Patterson and Brazen Collins get together. Josh Patterson hits the light poles that he was skating over earlier in practice. He's going to get into a skirmish in the dust here. I do not believe we have yellows during this heat race, so friends, I would say teammates, Brazen Collins, Josh Patterson getting together on lap number 1, as it is Colin Scarborough, battling for first right here, trying to catch on Rob Mosley, as his younger brother, Caleb Scarborough, sits in third. So it's Colin in second, Caleb in third. Not confusing at all. I know them personally, and I still get it mixed up.
Not to mention they have both the same paint schemes, just 2 different numbers on those 2 cars there. As Colin Scarborough really is the only one putting any challenge to any other competitor on this track currently. On Mosley just has to run a few more clean laps. Now 3 to go, coming 3 to go this time by. And we'll see if Caleb just sits here. I don't know. You said you know him personally. I don't know him. I don't know if he'll just sit back and let Colin battle for first, or if he'll try to make a move here at the last laps of heat race number 2.
I'd say he would. Whoa! Rob Mosley, he's getting touched as there goes Caleb. I think Caleb knew that he was going to be aggressive. Now we have a 3-way battle for the lead. 3 wide going into 3. Oh, Rob Mosley squeezes the 85. They're going to make contact. They're going to touch side by side. I think we're coming to the white flag. Oh, into the wall goes the 43. Rob Mosley going to give the bumper to the 85. He spins out. 85 spins out as well. Colin spins out. Caleb's going to pass him. And man, coming to the stripe, who would have thought that it'd be the 43 taking home the win? He was third all race. What a finish. My goodness.
Yeah, still reckon coming to the line here between Brazen Collins and Josh Patterson, as Patterson still has yet to cross the line, and he just backs it over the line. Finish 5th.
I was 2 seconds away from saying I think Caleb was going to keep it clean and not give him the bumper in the heat race, but in the feature I can see them doing that. But I mean, with them doing that in the heat race, I think no holds are barred between Rob Mosley, Colin Scarborough, Caleb Scarborough. I mean, my goodness, we're gonna see one heck of a show especially Paul Granada sitting there in row number 2. He's very aggressive. This is going to be an awesome race if that heat race is anything to show for it.
Well, starting on the pole position for the 75 lap feature at Oxford Plains Speedway is the 7 of Hunter Sandy. Starting second, Caleb Scarborough. Starting fourth is the 008 of Paul Granada. Starting fourth is the 85 of Colin Scarborough. Starting third is Paul Granada. Starting fifth is the 1 of Zachary Galgos. Starting, I believe this is going to be sixth, is the 004 of John O'Brien. Les Gibson starts seventh, as looks like they're already going. Pace car only gave him 1 lap instead of the normal 2 around Oxford Plains. Hunter Sandy gets a jump on the field, as the first battle will be between 43 and the 1 for third position.
Jump on the field. Here comes Paul Granada already being aggressive for that first position. I think the outside lane, if we see restarts, that's going to be the place where people see trouble because the leader just gets such a good jump. Granada to the top spot now. Brayson Collins gets spun out. If I had any guess as to who it would have been, it maybe would have been Josh Patterson, if anything,
Looks
had
like
to
Rob
show.
Mosley's in the pits right now getting tires.
Looks like that as well. 75 lap feature, already a lead change so far. Paul Granada has taken the lead, won in second, and then the Scarborough brothers third and fourth. Granada out in front is about where you want to see that 008 because you know that Chrome Horn won't be messing with you. But we saw the Scarboroughs in heat number 2. They were the ones using their front bumper. The Ross Chastain schemes really putting to their worth. So I don't know. Those guys sitting in third and fourth, you know, they're going to be plotting something, trying to make their way around. And there's Josh Patterson working his way through the field, sixth, working on fifth place, using the outside lane. Everybody's been struggling on the outside, but here comes Josh. He just has that traction, has the grip, able to cut down in front of him for fifth place.
I'm no expert here at Oxford Plains, but I do know you can make that outside work, as I didn't realize how much damage that the 9 had on his front bumper there as he's pushing the 02, run over all the cones. But you can make that second lane work, you can make that third lane work if you need it to, especially if there's a lot slower car around on that inside. And the 9 does make contact with 7, Hunter Sandy. The pole sitter saves it, and I think the 9 of Connor Murray get some new tires or something on that if he's going to make it the rest of the 65 laps or so around here.
Already 10 laps in. Paul Granada has no sweat out in front. He made his move for the first place position and is sitting relatively clean. Now, you mentioned that the second and third lane works. We saw Josh Patterson make that pass on the outside lane. I think if the tires start to wear and we go on a long green flag run, I think we can very well see the second lane, the third lane, mostly the second lane. I think that middle lane is going to be the place where you want to be to save your tires. Really use that outside, try to diamond the corner a little bit.
Got the helmet cam on Paul Granada right now. You see, just aims for that, pretty much the end of that first little curve there on the inside. Same thing, same spot on 3 and 4. You just don't have the exit of pit road there you aim for. As 9 is off in the dirt once again. Spins out right in front of the field and saves it. I don't know how nobody hit him there. It's a dangerous spot.
Looks like Caleb Scarborough almost ran into him right there, and he, I believe, lost. Yep, he lost the position to Josh Patterson. I think Rob Mosley's a lap down. Oh, we got a car all the way out. 2 cars around. Goodness gracious, Calamity Corner in turn 4. The yellow is still not out. I think somebody needs to throw the yellow flag or at least try to send somebody to pit road because we've had cars really messing with them. Again, the 004, I believe, spins out.
As it looks like the 004 gets the tow back to pit lane. And I believe I just heard an engine blow from somebody. I don't know who that would be. My guess is that's 9 of Conor Moranis. I didn't see how the 04, but my guess is that 9 car is going to be done. Yeah, the iRacing flag, man, he doesn't like if it's not on the racetrack and it's not on the dirt, he doesn't care. As the iRacing now does throw caution flag. Like saying here might be on 17 of Rob Mosley.
Looks like that is payback from earlier in the heat race. I don't think that was fully intentional, but Mr. Rob gives the 85 a little bit of bumper. Deservedly so, I would say, after the heat race, although I believe Rob is 1 lap down. So very interesting. I think this finally gives the cars and the teams a chance to smooth things out, shake things out, get some tires. Josh Patterson started in last, and he is already up to third after I believe we're 18 or 20 laps into this race.
We're about 13 laps in, and Josh Patterson is up 7 positions. I didn't even pay any attention to that until you said it. And Rob Mosley is 5 laps down in the 17, and looks like he's back on pit road. If you want to know a little secret, you're probably not taking 4 tires here. It takes too long for iRacing to put the tires on the car. You're gonna be going down at least a lap by taking 4. Most you can do.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be taking tires. I would be maybe taking your 2 right side tires if we get a caution with 10 to go. I don't see any need for taking tires. Fuel obviously lasts all the way through. These cars, they perform best when they're slick. They get moving around, shaking. The car starts wobbling a little bit. When these slicks start really getting slick, I feel like that's when we get the best racing. We'll see some 2-3 wide action. Paul Granada's really been unchallenged out in front. The one has been there. But now that Josh Patterson's sitting in third, the Scarborough's sitting in fourth and sixth, respectively, the pole sitter in fifth. I mean, we're gonna have some formidable contenders with a chance to put the field back together. They're gonna be able to put on a show for this next restart.
It should be getting 1 to go this time by what the flagman says here. As the lights are off on the iRacing pace truck. So restarting in the first position is Paul Grana, Josh Patterson third, Caleb Scarborough fourth. And after he lost 2 positions so far this race, Hunter Sandy lost 4 positions so far. And we'll see what happens. The iRacing pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Paul Grana gets another huge jump on the rest of the field.
Granada gets a huge jump and then immediately moves down in front of Patterson, which is the smartest thing you could do. If you saw how quick that 02 was moving through the field, I would be scared and want to move down in front of him too. Great racing IQ there by the 008 of Paul Granada. As here goes Josh Patterson for the lead, side by side, 3 wide almost into turn 3, as the 7 Hunter Sandy really sends it in on Paul Granada. Granada goes from first to third in a lap. New leader Josh Patterson.
I think if you want my opinion, Hunter Sandy does have the best car on the track. He just had a really bad initial start. Nice to work his way up the hard way to get up to that lead. But he's back in second, one spot away from the lead. See what happens. It looks like everyone else is will file once again here. As 7 got a huge shove by the 008. Now the 1 goes on the inside, 3 wide now in turn number 3. 3 wide on the exit of 4. And it looks like the 7's going to be back to the... As the 1 just got shoved. The caution's out, Iris. And the 1 just got a huge shove in the 1 and 2. I think we'll went over a few of the bumps. It looks like the 7 also spun out sometime after that. See what happens. As you see, it's already 3 wide here on the exit of the corner. And
I would say that's a little bit of iRacing netcode there. I don't think Paul really meant to do that. But 3 wide there, and that's that being the worst of it, especially with how tight they were. It looks like the '08 just got a little arrow loose, tried to cut it down into the corner, and then the one just like lifted right there. And
Yeah, a
then
little bit extra stuff going on. It looks like the 7 got turned again by the 008. If you want my opinion on that first one, it's going to be a little bit of a racing deal. The 008 came down, the 1 came up, and both of them just made contact in the middle. Nowhere for either of those 2 cars to go. The 1 got the worst end of it, and after that, I think the 7 had a little bit of a connection issue, lost a little bit of connection, blinked, and then ended up on the 008's nose and got turned to the right over the dirt. As we are under caution once again, as we're now 29 laps into the 75 lap main event. After your new leader, we've said he was coming back up through the field. The 0-2 of Josh Patterson. As Patterson looks like he came down the wrong pit road initially, he's now back on the right main pit road. And we'll see what he takes here. Nobody else came with him, so this is a little bit of a different strategy called from the lead.
very, very interesting.
Right sides are coming on, left sides are going off, and I didn't think he had enough time. We'll see what happens. As it looks like he does have enough time to get off a pit road for the iRacing pace car. It's box. They'll move Josh Patterson from the lead back down to 9th. Rob Mosley's back on pit road. John O'Brien somewhere out on the track. I can't find him. Looks like we are 1 to green the time by. Field's trying to get all reorganized here.
Green flag off and underway. Looks like the 700 Sandy gets a jump on the Scarborough brothers side by side. This flipped the field on its head right when we thought that the field was getting back to what we thought it would be for a little while. We saw a great battle up front, and then now it flips on its head with different pit strategies. Scarborough brothers already moving and shaking, bumping each other. Josh Patterson decides to take an excursion to his favorite spot on the track once again, as the 0-2 continues to make his race harder on his own terms. Didn't set a qualifying lap, finished last in his heat race, and then just took tires. And then also
got turned. He got turned out of turn number 4. I saw the contact happen, and he went down the pit road, came back out on the track.
Very, very interesting there. He's just had one heck of a race, one heck of a weekend. There's the 5 at Brayson Collins. That's a very vibrant car. I like the look of that car. The 0-2 is beautiful, but the 5, I'd say, is second for best paint schemes out here on the track.
Brayson Collins and Les Gibson both up 3 positions. Biggest movers in the race. As of now, we got another. We're only on lap 37 of 75 now. There's one slow car on the top side of 1 and 2. I don't know who that was. Looks like the Scarborough brothers are now racing it back out once again, so you can catch 700 Sandy.
I would have to imagine that the 43 and 85 are in communication with each other, and they should be saying, hey, if we don't race each other, if we just run our own race, we can catch the 7 quicker than us trying to battle for 2nd and 3rd. And I think that's what they've settled on. The 43 looks a little quicker on corner exit. The 5's really able to drive it in more in corner entry. And he's a little dicey coming out the corner, but they've been catching Hunter Sandy little by little as they have been not fighting for position.
Paul Granite is now in 4th position, down 1 position from the start. And Josh Patterson is now back on the move as he hit the rear bumper of the 5, gets underneath him. Gonna have the inside here in 1 and 2, and the 5. My guess is won't have enough of a challenge for him as you already see this gone. Tires are paying off just a little bit. I mean, still a long ways to go, and Josh Patterson is 3.4 seconds behind the leader, but he is coming. Already, he gains 0.2 of a second in 1 corner.
I mean, as we saw earlier in the race, as there goes Caleb underneath Colin for 2nd place. Saw earlier in the race, the 0-2 was able to make his way up slowly but surely, and then a yellow just basically put him in third. So I think if the field gets put back together again with those fresh tires, the O2 is going to be near the front, whether or not people pit or whether or not he gets a good start. I feel like he's going to get probably the best restart of them all.
Looking at lap times now, the Hunter Sandy, the leader, ran a 16.19. Josh Patterson's running over 3/10 of a lap faster than him. So I don't think he has enough time. Just doing the math, he would get to the rear bumper of the 7 just a few laps late. But if he could get even faster lap times, he may have a challenge for 7 at the end.
Going to be careful not to scrub off too much speed there as well, because he could get faster. But also, Hunter Sandy has been working with the same tires that he's got, and at some point, whoa, bumper to the back of the 7, battle for the lead. Caleb Scarborough just got to the back of the 7, wasn't able to make the move into turn 1.
What the O2 of Josh Patterson needs, though, he needs the 43 to get on the inside of the 7, even if there isn't a pass for the lead, just for something to happen as the 003 pulls it off in the pit road. Like looks like he came off the track from what I can see. But still circulating under the green flag here. The 7 Hunter Sandy, 43 looked to the outside, looked back to the inside. There's nothing there. As we are coming now to lap number 50 of 75.
25 to go. Things are going to start to get dicey here. iRacing does have somewhat of a cutoff with, whoa, puts the bumper to him. The 7 was a little sideways for about a quarter of a second. Scarborough backed off smartly, knew that that wasn't his position to take, as he's going to stay glued to his back bumper pretty much. As I wouldn't look now, but there's Josh Patterson. He is in viewing distance of Hunter Sandy and Caleb Scarborough.
I thought he was. I didn't think he was going to get there, but it looks like the 7 Hunter Sandy really slowed down, and Josh Patterson going to have to work his way through second and third. I know the 85 is probably going to be a blocker here for the 43, but I mean, there's still 24 laps to go. I mean, he made up 2 seconds, and probably is amount of time for me to say that he was catching up, and I don't know.
This has turned from a 2-car race battle for the lead to a 5-car battle for the lead. We've got Hunter Sandy, the 43, Caleb Scarborough, the 85. Oh, that's a blown engine for Paul Granada, I believe. I think he just money shifted coming out of the corner.
That would be correct. As you now see him, he's rolling slow. I think he'll be. I don't think there's gonna be a caution for this as long as he makes the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Just about there as you see it now. 02 now just made the pass for third position. 43. I think he got a bumper on that 7 there again. That's about the third time I've seen him do that.
I mean, he's getting there. He's just not able to execute coming off the corner. And then Josh Patterson, big slide by Caleb Scarborough, basically just hands the position, the second place position, on a silver platter to Josh Patterson. The 43 really slipping and sliding, almost lost the position again to his brother. But here comes Josh Patterson trying to fight with Hunter Sandy. This could be dicey. The 43, Caleb Scarborough, 85, Colin Scarborough gives him the bumper, the first shot, and the 7 of Hunter Sandy has just had a rough go whenever somebody gets to him. Spins out by the way of Josh Patterson. I do not believe the yellow came out for that.
Yellow is out.
Yellow came out. All right. Well, very interesting. The first corner, Patterson was there, just stuffed it in too close, and Hunter Sandy, I think that's like the second or third time he's been dumped. Not from the lead, but just in general. Very rough go for him, and we know that he's one of the fastest cars.
It looks like here, I mean, the 02 was there. I think Hunter Sandy just got a little bit of a inside. I mean, he goes, and then Hunter Sandy just goes sliding in the stand. And with him stopping on the track, I don't think the race officials had any other choice but to have him bring out the yellow flag. I'm gonna get one more angle on this pass. Yeah, just made a little bit of extra contact and had the 7 just goes for a little bit of a spin. I don't think there's any harm done to that car, although there's looks like a little bit of a wrinkle to that right rear quarter panel. Aerodynamics don't really matter here. Is like 7 already back up to second position. I wonder if there's pit stops as like we do have a couple of cars. Racing Collins, both the Scarboroughs, the 1 all on pit road. Josh Patterson took tires on around lap 30. Has about 30 laps on those tires. We'll see how that plays out. 006, to my knowledge, doesn't have tires. He's in second with Hunter Sandy third, going for that spin. You wonder how much that cooked the right rear, especially. As coming off pit road, Brazen Collins will be fourth. Maybe the 008 got the jump on the 5 exit in pit road. I'm not quite sure there. And then both the Scarboroughs, 6th and 7th, 1 and 8th. But it looks like, we just had a big change to this race. Paul Granado, the Scarboroughs, and the 1 all 1 lap down to the leader, Hunter Sandy, looks like from my scoring, at least up here. Over 2 laps down, actually.
That's very interesting to see them going a lap down. I do know that Granada did go a lap down with his blown motor. I think Bryson Collins is waving all those guys by. I think he does understand the nature of how pit road plays things out. So I believe it looks like those guys are getting waved back around to be on the lead lap.
It looks like they're putting 1 lap down, actually. Cause my scoring, they're still 1 lap down with the pass there. As the 006 looks like he had a really weird restart, and he just took out the 02 of Josh Patterson. Caution's out. I don't know what happened there. We just caught the back end of that restart. We're gonna have to go back to the replay here. It was got 1 beach on the dirt still. The 1 beached up on that dirt, and he's not gonna get out of there. At least I can see. He takes the tow back to pit lane. I don't even know what just happened there. Back to
That was something.
the 06. I saw he had that bad restart and then just came across the nose of the 1 and back to the. I think the 7 came down, got the 006. He came back up the track and just cut across the 1's nose. And you know whose racers hurts the most? Is that 02 of Josh Patterson. You can already see that left front bumper is destroyed. I don't know what more damage is. I don't even know what happened to the 1. We're going to have to go back to see what happened to him. It looks like the 8 got to his rear bumper and spun back up the dirt. That's going to be suspension damage, if not anything else, for that 1 car there. We'll just reset the field back for you here. The 700 Sandy's in the lead. The 006 with Les Gibson still in second. Grayson Collins third. Paul Granada fourth. Scarborough brothers. Caleb is in 6th. Collins 7th. Josh Patterson now back up to the 5th position, with the 1 going laps down on pit road, getting that tow from iRacing. We are on lap 67 of 75. But a lot of stuff just happened there in that last restart. Really flipped the field upside down, especially, in my opinion, brought a lot of the competitors, the Hunter Sandy, back to the back of the field. And I know all of them, especially the 02, Josh Patterson. I think he can win this race if he has the right positioning. So he's going to have to get going here shortly, according to the iRacing pace car.
This is going to be a very interesting restart to see how it plays out. Almost like a Delaware restart. The 700 Sandy starting on his own and all
got spun again. As he saved it this time, racing Collins, and I knew he was going to run out of room. Their caution's back out. Racing Collins got spun down to the inside of the track on that restart once again, and had nowhere to go. Had to come back up the track eventually. I mean, there's a corner there. and it looked like the 006 got spun.
That was a pretty weak yellow thrown by iRacing standards. Very interesting to see the yellow being thrown immediately for that one.
Yeah, especially since we've seen him not throw a lot of things today. You see Brazen Collins get forced down to the inside. I mean, he has to. I mean, he could have made. I don't know about that one. Like that. Look that one more time there. 5. I think he could have made that corner. I don't know, but I think what happened is he hit that curve there on the inside and it upset the weight balance of that car and sent him up the track. I mean, that's the only explanation I have for that one there. Because I think he was slowed down enough, at least in my opinion. I think he just didn't have enough. Like I said, I think he just had the big shot up the track and got back into 006. But that's 2 restarts in a row, though. The 006 had a really bad restart and spun out essentially both times. He wasn't saved by another car. So we'll reset the field for you once again here, as it is going to be, looks like a green-white checkered. 7, Hunter Sandy still leads. Paul Granada in the 008 second position. Josh Patterson third. He made his way back up with those 2 restarts. Caleb and Colin Scarborough 4th and 5th respectively. Lebs Gibson 6th in Brazen Collins. Last car on the lead lap in the 7th position as the field does get going here.
Green flag back underway. I mean, 1, 2, 3, Hunter Sandy, Paul Granado, Josh Patterson. After all of that happening, I'm impressed that that's the 1, 2, 3, and then the Scarborough brothers in 4th and 5th. That's about been how the field has been. Oh, excuse me, the entire night as white flag is out. One last time for anybody to get to. Oh, we got a yellow. Looks like a wreck in
Won't be
turn 1
yellow.
and
The
3.
white flag is out. We'll see who gets going first. Looks like Lebs Gibson gets a little bit going. It's going to be a drag race here down the backstretch between the 5 and the 06. 006 does get going first, though. And your race winner, Hunter Sandy in the 7. Josh Patterson's tempers flare there between Josh Patterson and Hunter Sandy. I mean, got a lot of issues for him. Same with Hunter Sandy, though. Caleb Scarborough third, Colin 4th, Paul Grant in 5th position. Lebs Gibson 6th, Brazen Collins 7th. You have the one of Zachary Gallegos in 8th. Nathan Medina 9th. Mr. Rob Mosley 10th. John O'Brien 11th. And Connor Moranis rounds out the field. So it was a very exciting race, to say the least. I mean, especially the second half of the race had a few yellows. First race is clean, very clean. I think it's very interesting how that happens. Starts off really clean. Second half of the race tends to have issues. My knowledge on the iRacing network. And then first race, half the race is a lot of yellows. The second half has very few. But we had the first part of the iRacing network today. But what do you have to say about this race? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's been a pretty solid race. Definitely a lot of wrecks towards the end. We saw some clean racing up front, but I think it was the same sort of thing as last week where we kind of just had a lot of mess go on towards the back end of the field, and that was what really, I wouldn't say ruined it for the drivers up front, but definitely was partial of the reason why we had such the racing product that we saw tonight. Um, Pretty solid race nonetheless. We saw some comers and goers. Hunter Sandy being able to get the win from the pole, well deserved. I feel like if somebody else won, it would have had to be Josh Patterson. As we see Granada getting the bumper there by Patterson for second place.
Yeah, if you at home were trying to figure out what happened, you're all wondering what happened to Paul Grant. That's what happened. Josh Patterson gave him the bumper, coming to the 3 and 4 for the last time, and that allowed Josh Patterson, Caleb Scarborough, and Colin Scarborough all to get to second, third, and fourth respectively. I really don't have anything else to say. I mean, it was a very clean race to start off. We had a lot of action near the end, a lot of restarts, and a lot of blown motors this race though too. I mean, Rob Mosley, Connor Moranis, John O'Brien, I believe also Nathan Medina, and all blown motors. It'll be a very expensive week for them back at the shop. But with that, I think that's going to wrap up the coverage of the Sandia Speedway iRacing League at Oxford Plains. Thank you all at home for watching.